A viewer submission to play with Stifle and Lotus Field inside of a control shell. We've got some Blood Suns here, and bringing this into play untapped and tapping for 3 mana. We got a bunch of 6 drops as well as some 8 drops we can cast on occasion or cast with Gearhulk. Thing to note, obviously Jeskai controls an established good deck. I have no confidence that this archetype is better than the more stock Jeskai list that exists in the format, with Narsets and no Gearhulks and just like more misery basically. But we're gonna go ahead and see how Lotus Field and Stifle feel. I feel like the big question for this deck is Stifle useful enough in the format as a whole to be worth being a card that we're going to draw when we're not stifling Lotus Field, or like when we already have Bloodstone out, right? Like how often is this going to be just a card that rots in hand as opposed to being something useful? So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this and see if we can find some answers to that question. Is MH2 successfully luring back into Moto? Maybe. I do love me some Vindicate. Vindicate lets mid-range decks play 4 main deck Stone Rains for like the big mana matchups. Maybe that's something we'll explore in the second half of June. Love to play Historic on paper. Rebalancing is tricky, so some cards are also legal. Well, that's the point. What, Sphinx? Like, you could have the cards just be different on Arena. That's the point, right? Like, if they're going to rebalance cards, suddenly the format's not playable in paper, basically. But if you're... So, like, I think I would prefer getting rebalances as opposed to having the format be supported in paper. Jeskai Phoenix could be Velocamist turns, maybe. Hey, well, happy Tuesday, God Baron. Thank you for the tier 3. Thank you for the 41. It has been some time. Yeah, looks like Velocamist. If cards are different in Historic, you'd have to read them to know what they do, which means 80+% of Magic players couldn't do it. Big mood. Big mood. What's my favorite card of all time? I think I'm legally obligated to respond with this one. I think I'm obligated to respond with this one. Spell Stutter Spray. Gotta put that one over here too. I guess you could answer Spell Stutter Sprite, and she's in a frame, so you could probably say that one. That's a F&M promo, actually, not a Judge promo. Actually. Ooh. Birds of Paradise? Yeah, I've got... That's true. I don't have a framed Birds of Paradise, but Birds of Paradise is the only card I still have a playset of. That's a playable card. So I've got a full someday I'll splurge. I should really splurge and buy one of these in proper foil at some point. It's my favorite. One of them. They're gorgeous. This is definitely my favorite Birds of Paradise. We're trying to destroy my treasure. I mean, I guess we'll do this now. This is the part where they combo kill my next turn. My favorite art magic. It's probably this bird. This is the bird artwork that's on like my banner. If you look on like my Twitter or my YouTube, that's this bird artwork for my a magic card artwork behind me. Boxstopper Birds is nice. The 8th edition Birds has a special place in my heart, though. It shall be my Magma Opus. Clearly. So do I just like Opus and make pressure and hope they brick? I think that's my plan. I could like lapse that back to the top of their deck, but like I just don't have any disruption. This doesn't close particularly quickly. Yeah, whatever. What do foil birds cost these days? Well, I'm a little afraid to look. My opponent's gonna try and combo kill us here. I'm gonna look it up. For $450 for 8th edition English foil Birds of Paradise. No, that for one Birds of Paradise, $450. That's for the foils. My non-foils are $15 a piece. Yeah, and they have a memory lapse that we know about, right? So we're just dead. Minga Hamster, thanks for the 13 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Chat, there's a reason why I have painted ones and not actual copies. of foil ones. They're expensive, chap. Actually have a pretty reasonable sideboard plan here. Board in a bunch of these, cut our bad sweepers and our bad interaction. Market price is $136. What does that mean? Is there someone that will sell me one for $136? I only see the listed ones. Market price is what they've actually sold for, right? So like no one sold them at $450, that means. I should look at eBay. I just looked up at TCG Player really quick. Hey, Niv. Thank you for the 37 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, but like, have they sold at that price, Chuki? Or is like that just like what some shitter has their card listed for? Because like the 8th edition what we're talking about, someone just said they've only actually sold for 150. Sure, well, like there's only 3. Can you use my $100 in bits from yesterday to add Dragonstorm back to the queue? Yeah, that's fine, Duck Doolittle, but I won't get to it until Monday because I try not to replay things right away back to back on set release. If you're okay with waiting for a Monday replay, I'm definitely good to do that. Add that back in. Awkward. This is a real downside to trying to do this with your Jeskai deck. Works for you? Thank you. Sounds good. I appreciate the support. This card is very good with Teferi. He untaps 2 lands and untapping Lotus Field is very good. Since I only have 2 mana, I want to fry here so they can't use a counterspell. Morning, Gandalf. Your time has come. This is kind of a disruptive card against Dwarven Mine. Yeah, it's impossible to know if they're actually selling at those prices, though. In Human Rabbit was the point. Like, people can list them at that till they're, you know, blue in the face, but... BJ Forget, thanks for 17 months. I should post on Twitter that I want one and see what I can get it for. Does new Oko die to Fry? What is Oko's starting loyalty? Does he start at 4? Does he die to Fry now? Morning, Perister. Yeah, he's 4+1. Yeah, new Oko dies to Fry. Sweet. Vlakamus here. Mizzix Mastery. Alright, so we're super dead, right? Magma Opus. There's Mari Command, Time Walk. I would like an 8th edition Birds foil at some point, Todd. I have my ones I used to play with here, and I would like a foil to put in a frame at some point. Just haven't tracked one down. And for new Oko, people that haven't been following, Arena is, you didn't miss a spoiler. Arena is going to be having a special event where they are rebalancing cards that are currently banned in Historic. If you look on my Twitter timeline, some people data mined what the possible changes are going to look like. I think it's it is a limited event, and I think it's 100% a test run. I hope it is wildly successful, and that becomes the norm and we stop banning things. Ooh, we can stifle Muxus. It's exciting. What are lands? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. The Fancy Badger. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Morning, Bionic Quail. Feels magic, man. Unbanned Time Raveler, you cowards. They're planning to make Time Raveler cost 4 mana. According to the data mine. Yeah, the new card overlay is Aces. It's really good. It's like kind of fair. No, I actually think it's kind of dog shit. I think it's the worst of the rebalances that they're doing. I think the card's probably almost certainly still offensive at 4 mana. So far, this is going to surprise many of you at home, I'm sure. But so far, putting a bunch of bad cards in my Jeskai control deck has not felt particularly good. Yeah, I think just changing 3 mana Teferi's mana cost was a really lazy fix, and they should have done something different. They should have actually redesigned it. The Dragonstorm deck was great. It was very, very reasonable. What I like to see. I think I would like to see, if they want to keep the core idea of the card the same, switch its static ability and its +1. Or honestly, actually, you know what they should do? This is what I would like to see. Teferi's static text should apply to both players, and his +1 lets just you ignore his static text for a turn cycle. That's what I would like to see. Make it symmetrical and make the +1 let you ignore it. I'd also accept making him start on 3 loyalty. A big part of what made 3 mana Teferi offensive was the fact that it could come into play and draw a card, and then your opponent still had to spend resources getting rid of it. So if you made the Teferi player choose between just cashing their Planeswalker in to draw a card and tempo the board a little bit, or having to plus it and make it survive for a turn to draw a card, it would go a long way towards fixing kind of the fundamental problems with the card. Basically, I think there were a lot of things they could have done that were better than the lazy, we're just +1 manaing it. I actually like a lot of the changes that were data mined. I think most of them are good. That's like the one I'm not happy with. I'm gonna stream the Mirror event. Maybe there's probably a good chance it's a best of 1 event, because all their custom things seem to be best of 1. I really just don't like best of 1. It's on my Twitter, Gendy. Can a mod fish up the link on my Twitter and make a command for it? Field of the Dead is legendary and the zombies enter tapped. Or never. It seems really restrictive. That's because it is really restrictive. Something interesting to note here is that Stifle much worse than Tails End here against Muxus. So, my opinion on Field of the Dead and Winota changes are that I think Winota and Field of the Dead changes are completely unnecessary, and those cards would be fine as is in the current format. But at the same time, I will take... Can you link my Twitter instead of that article, Hamblin? I'd prefer to self-promote rather than promote someone else. What was I gonna say? In general, I think Winota and Field of the Dead are both fine as is, but at the same time, I will also take fixed versions of those cards rather than not having the card in general. So if my choice is like no Winota and no Field of the Dead, or ones that are slightly worse but I still get to play with, I'll take the ones that are slightly worse every time. I start streaming early this morning. No, I went live about the time I normally do. I went live earlier than yesterday, ATX, but I also started late yesterday because of the set release late. Happy HA5, Fringe Devil. Is Agent just bad now? Yeah, probably. I think nerfed Winota is playable. Yeah, likely. Winota died for Agent of Treachery sins. That's a whitewashing of what actually happened. That's a history. That's a change. That's ignorant change in history. For people who are ignorant and don't remember their history, Winota did not play Agent of Treachery in Historic. Winota played Agent of Treachery in Standard, but in Historic, you just killed people with Angrath Marauders. Sojourner! Thank you for the 21 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Okay, so we Helix this, and then we Clarion next turn and clean them out. And then they get to trade with my Gearhulk here, but they're going to 2. Then they have a Thoughtseize on top, and I have a 4/4. I think I'm happy with how we boarded. Let's run it back. Run it back now, y'all. And they data mined all the changes full effect. The planned Winota change that she only looks at 4 cards. Yeah, Oko's a sweet card. Like, there's a lot of people who are incapable of, like, removing their feelings from an equation and, like, can't acknowledge that Oko's a sweet design. Because they're just, like, petty and have had their feelings hurt. Nailed it, German Space Ace. Man, I don't know how we ever beat this card. Morning, Ryushi. I am not playing Prismari Command because we had to cut cards to fit in our bad cards. Yeah, cracking the what's it called spoilers look absurd. There's so many good designs in Modern Horizons too. Nice, nice. God, I can't imagine having twins. Small children are difficult enough in sets of 1. Doing 2 at the same time sounds rough. The new Living Weapon card's probably just worse than... The new Living Weapon card is likely just worse than Batterskull in most situations. Hey, chat, does Muxus Fuxus? Not today, Satan! Not today! The sad part is we might still be dead here. Like, I don't know that we can even still win the game. Like, our hand is so bad. Why is the new one worse? It's indestructible and first strike and has a funky ability. Because, it doesn't... one, it doesn't gain life, and two, it doesn't return itself to your hand to make more living weapon things. It also costs 7 mana to hardcast and 7 mana to equip. Yeah. Why would you want to make more germs? Because your opponent plays a removal spell and kills your first germ. But you don't always have Stoneforge Mystic. Sometimes you fish up Batterskull's good with Stoneforge Mystic because you'll frequently fish it up, and then they'll kill your Stoneforge Mystic, and then you can still just cast Batterskull. Your questions, I assume you've never played with Stoneforge Mystic before, right? Have you ever played with Stoneforge Batterskull? Based on your questions, it sounds like you haven't. But there's a lot of play patterns there that the new card just doesn't do that are a big part of what make Batterskull good. I mean, it's the same in Legacy. Speaking as someone that's played the card a ton in many paper boomer formats. I haven't played with the card a ton in Modern because by the time they made it legal, I was mostly off of Modern. Yeah, but like, what format have you played it in? Are you playing it in EDH then? Because like in Legacy, all the things. Okay, yeah, EDH, got it. In EDH, the new 7 mana card is probably better in EDH. Yes. From a competitive constructed format, Batterskull does a lot. You use every bit of the Batterskull Buffalo in constructed. Hey, Elwins, thanks for the 39 months. Welcome back. Good morning, good morning. I'm just cycling this. I want to try and find a Gearhulk or a Sweeper. I'm gonna murder this now, and then we'll plan to just lapse whatever they cast next turn. I mean, there's a chance that, like, that 7 mana card sees some amount of play, but it will frequently just be worse than Batterskull. There's probably formats or matchups where you would prefer it to Batterskull, or, like, play it in addition to Batterskull. Yeah, I think Cranial Plating or Arcbound Ravager would be sweet additions to this format. I don't want anything stupid like Mox Opal, but I feel like this artifact deck, and we're gonna try Tempered Steel ourselves, but I feel like Tempered Steel probably wants like one more payoff. My tweet means I'm undecided. It'll honestly probably depend on what it'll probably depend on what card availability looks like on MTGO, because getting new cards can be difficult on Moto. It depends on how much the set gets opened. Like people complain about the Magic Arena economy, but like I remember spending $25 a copy on Assassin's Trophy so I could play those the first day that card released on Moto. Like, yeah, all that glitters isn't good enough, Mikey. It's just like the TLDR. Does the subscription model work for a professional streamer? I don't understand what you mean. Like renting cards? Yeah, like the rental services don't always have cards. I actually have a standing offer with a store that sells Moto cards, but like they have to have the cards in stock. And at set releases, it can be very difficult to get in-demand staples because there's only so many of them that are opened. Like, you have to wait for more packs to open, basically. So cards can have more availability. I think we just, like, cut the lapses and board in some cards that play to the board. Maybe leave in a couple of these and, like, trim some of the top end. Moto is exactly like paper, except the demand is all the players simultaneously instead of just players in your local. It's basically like the TLDR. Aren't basically 100% of Moto's opening for drafting? A lot of them are from people drafting, which is a big part of why, yes, it takes a while. Yeah, there's a good example. Force of Negation is $74. For people that aren't familiar with the Moto economy, one ticket is $1. So, again, the Magic Arena economy ain't perfect, but when people talk about the Moto economy like it's some kind of gift from God, like, it also has some very fundamental problems. It's a completely unregulated secondary market. Oh, there are 3 colors. Interesting. Yeah, Moto is like Arena where there are infinite copies, but you can sell them. No, booster packs cost $4 on Moto, Silver Oak. So there aren't people just like opening a bunch of packs. Yeah, and set redemption means people cash them out as well. It's been 29 months, Scissor. Welcome back. Let's go following Dasher. Good morning. Yikes. Tempered Steel. Yeah, but like, so again, I have a rental agreement with the thing, but like, I understand how Moto works at set releases. It's difficult to get cards frequently from the brand new set at set releases on Moto, because there's so much demand for it. It is a beefy Beaumont. Yeah, we're talking about Moto for the regulars because MH2 looks sweet. I was thinking about dipping into Moto, but whether or not I actually decide to do it is going to depend on a number of things, including card availability. Swolbot Warrior, yep. He's a big boy. Wrath's just better. There are no cards on Magic Arena that regenerate. Wrath of God and Day of Judgment are the same card, but you split them because of effects like Meddling Mage. Regenerate and Pioneer. I think so. I don't actually know. How's Stifle bad? Mediocre and bad. Hey, game 3 on the plate. Like, even these sample hands, right? Like, imagine these are other playable spells. Hey, Garrick, thanks for the 31 months. Welcome back. Yeah, there's a good chance this one doesn't hit YouTube. I'm gonna give it one more match after this one, but I've yet to be in, like, we've lost a bunch of games because of hands like these, right? Like, we just have a bunch of clunk in the trunk. It was Stifle plus Blood Sun in a control deck was the build around for this. Or, sorry, Stifle plus Lotus Field. And then we added Blood Sun. Yeah, or the game we lost because we had a bunch of Blood Suns. Or we had a bunch of Lotus Fields and no way to enable them. Span Catch, thanks for the 7 months. Welcome back. Counter this one. I don't think Stifle's a good card in this format. I think Stifle, generally speaking, is going to be worse than Tail's End. They like 1,000% have negate in their hand, right?
I know what must be done.
Lotus Field.
Time for a break.
Maybe I should have just cast this in and cleaned their board out. Alright, Awakened Inferno steals the game. Dude, I do think Awakened Inferno is kind of a good card right now. I don't know that this is the right shell for her, but she does a lot. -1 would have done it, right? Well, the -1 only does the damage to one thing. To get the sweeper, you have to -3. Great. I mean, this is turn 2 Lotus Field, right? Yeah, Nissa, who shakes the world, becoming less popular was definitely a huge net positive for, Am I sure? Of course I'm sure. We played Reanimator yesterday and it was sweet. I would not be surprised if something like that becomes real in this format. Master Beardsman, thanks for the 15 months. Pain Train, thanks for the 4 months. YOLO. Drown this one. Thunk.
need to move quickly.
Are we done here? All right, maybe it makes it to YouTube now. That was it. We accomplished the thing. The set was successful. All right, what am I cutting here? It's probably Torrential Gearhulk, right? That card's pretty bad against their plethora of counterspells. They're probably bringing in things like Dispute postboard too. Oh yeah, we're bringing Rest in Peace too. Good call. On a Waker of the Dead. I guess Waker of the Dead is a discard outlet. It's cute. I liked, we were playing Death's Majesty yesterday in 4-color, and it felt pretty reasonable. Doing this during my opponent's upkeeps, that way if they want to counterspell us, they have to do it on their turn, tapping out, which means next turn I can go ahead and play Baffling End and exile this while they're tapped down. There's so many good ways to build those decks too. So you gotta figure, like, there's the 4-color, there's Mardu, there's Abzan, Esper probably has a reasonable build. We just YOLO this Rest in Peace. I kind of want to YOLO the Rest in Peace shit. Because if this doesn't resolve, maybe Teferi will resolve next turn.
Keep up the pace.
Keep up the pace. All right, Jeskai Lotus Field, you've earned your stay. We can play another match or two. Yes, I'm sure, Magic Arena. You're not my real dad. Don't tell me how to live my life. Are you sure, Jeff? Are you sure you're sure?
for ya.
Probably Velocibus turns with an awkward mana draw. Images what the opponent's playing. That's some kind of creativity deck.
I'm reaching my boiling point.
Reaching my boiling point.
No pressure.
No pressure. We're probably dead to a dragon this turn. Oh, you know what? We can Gearhulk Stifle the trigger, right?
If you want to fight, you got it.
So, if I emblem them, I should just emblem them and then Gearhulk Helix them, right? And then they can't take an extra turn?
Is it just me, or is it getting a little warm in here?
Like, I could kill the Velocibus, but this is just much better. It's like they take 3, and then if they take an extra turn, they take 3 again and die. The shirt design is great. A lot of Elish Norn going on right now. Got some Praetors. Wrong, mirrored one of the Essence designs. They have a lot of fantastic stuff.
Crashed and burned here.
I'm glad we got a couple of good games in here at the end. We had a number of clunky ones to start, but it really got to do the thing here in these last few pretty elegantly. Which is always nice. You love to see it. Any compelling reason for Baffling End over Deck and Stone? Yeah, I'm a control deck. I don't really want to give my opponent cards. Stifle was useful there. This is a matchup where it has text for sure. Deck and Stone converts one of your opponent's resources into another resource, which can definitely bite you in a variety of situations. Is a Stifle plus Croxa build around possible? I don't know if that's good enough. Is that good enough? Let me think on it. Yeah, I'm actually not sure on that, Sticky. I feel like there's a good chance that Tail's End is just better. We've had a couple of cute, like, we stifled our Lotus Field on turn 2, but the flexibility that Tail's End has is definitely pretty real. Hey, Monster Can Mike, thanks for repping that Prime support. I appreciate the 10 months. Welcome back. So, think I actually need to wait a turn on this, because if I stifle and they counter it, I'll have to sacrifice lands that I can't hold up a piece of interaction. I think the things Tail's End counters is really good, whereas Stifle is just good against more things. Can you explain yourself instead of being vague? What more things is Stifle good against that Tail's End is not good against? Can you articulate yourself, Ziggy? Be specific. Ace, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel this morning. And now, even if this doesn't ramp us, we can still sacrifice 2 lands and then hold up interaction this turn. I don't know if I can play Arena anymore. Whenever I start it up, suddenly it's 6 hours later and I don't know what happened. Nice. I think we've died, chat.
Stay back. I'm an explosive. Hope it's not too hot for ya.
About to get disputed.
Let's get toasted.
Why not veto the Chandra there? I'll give you a 10-minute break to read the cards you're asking questions about. Hey, Ace, thanks for the brand new sub. Welcome to the channel. Do I rest in peace because they have Mizzix Mastery? I don't know. I kind of want the extra Gearhulk back in because they have Chandra. This gives us a way to pressure them, which is nice. Reading is busted. I expect it to be nerfed in the next patch. Judge, my opponent tried to veto my uncounterable Chandra. What happens? Well, Veto resolves and then Chandra resolve. Both the spells resolve. The most recent video for Stored Crafts was really helpful. Hey, glad you enjoyed it. Tell your friends. I'm a Jojo. For the 28 months. Appreciate the prime. Alright, well, we shouldn't be able to get comboed next turn, so let's just YOLO this one. Lapse me, daddy. Oh, yeah, that's the good stuff. Do you know what? After actually reading Tail's End properly, I retract my previous opinion and defer to your judgment. Holy shit, chat. Someone clip that one and mark this day on the calendar. May 28th, 2021, 8:56 a.m. Person on the internet had their opinion changed after presentation of new information. God bless. Looking forward to playing in the tournament on Sunday. How do you pay the entry fee? You're brand new to tournaments. Just head on over. There is a link to my open page on my website there, and then you sign up right on MTG Melee. Excited to have you play it. Make sure you take a second to read through the rules page on the MTG Melee page as well. It describes how to join the Discord server and instructions for how to share your screen upon request. Because we have full coverage for the tournament, so if you're picked for a feature match, you're going to be expected to share your arena screen on Discord. So we can feature you. What are lands? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Morning, Bun Bun. So if they have Thing plus Counterspell, we are likely dead here. Lotus Field!
What to do.
Huh? Yeah, I just can't do anything against this Chandra, basically.
I know what must be.
Just single-handedly stuffs us in a box. Feels like none of my choices matter and we're just dead.
I'll have a better plan next time.
To finish you.
Chat, they can use their Chandra to kill the Gearhulk. And a Hulk Gust is a temporary solution to a permanent problem. So, I'm going to let Mizzix's Mastery resolve. And then I'm going to counter the Opus. Because this way the Opus is gone. And if they have another Mizzix's Mastery... Chat, they have... For people that are like... The people who are telling me just cast my Gearhulk at end of turn, they have a bunch of counterspells in their deck, chat. It's like, maybe I'm just supposed to do that and hope that it's just, like, the best course of action, but, like... It's, like, super optimistic in terms of, like, is this going to work? Sometimes lucky. Alright, do I get a turn? No. Survey says... And hey, look! It's one of the 1,000 cards that beat my Gearhulk. Weird that they're playing a bunch of Ketria Triomes and not, Triomes that cast Philocomus. Yeah, I think the opponent's archetype is one of the better combo decks that's legal in this format in a post-tainted pack world. If you ask me to pick out one of the better combo decks right now, I think theirs is definitely up there. Yeah, I mean, I didn't say Tainted Pack wasn't played. In fact, I literally still have Tainted Pack in the high potential section of my website because I think it's still very reasonable. But it's just not definitively the best combo deck in the format anymore. Yeah, I think the Mutate Turns deck is very good. It's just nobody plays it. It's like, you know, we were talking about red-white mid-range finally gaining in popularity because a number of other content creators have picked it up to help popularize it. And the Jeskai Turns deck feels that same way. It feels like a deck that, like, okay, nobody's playing it because nobody's talking about it. All of those decks in that high potential category on my website are decks that I think are excellent if more people were just playing them.
I know my responsibility.
I think I boarded out my life gain. I don't know if I have a way to kill them. I guess I could, like, draw Gearhulk next turn. Yeah, if my opponent was playing the proper Triome here, we'd be dead. We might still be dead, but if they had the proper Triome, we'd definitely be dead. Now we're just definitively, right? I think my Helixes are in the sideboard. God, we had another patch and they still haven't fixed that bug.
Hurry.
That's a Pog Champ. Oh, I totally should do 1 and 3 and draw the game for meme value. That's what I should have done. Should have drawn the game. And, like, this is, you know, I frequently talk about how, and I feel like this is something I'm going to have to bring up more because Untapped tracks deck stats, is, you know, this is a game where, yeah, I won this match, but if you ask me, Jeff, did we win this match? It really shouldn't. The answer is no, right? Like, if my opponent has the proper triomes, I lose that game every time, and thus lose the match. Hey, Ronnie, thanks for the 7 months. Welcome back. Yeah, HA5's been sweet. A lot of great inclusions in it, looks like. I'm going to keep this without blue mana, because if we hit a land, we can turn 4 Magma Opus. Would Wizards ever add proper deck stats directly to the client? No, I'd assume no. Giving players detailed statistics and letting them know how they're doing encourages a lot of people to play less because it makes them feel bad about things. You can't lie to yourself about the results you're having if the numbers are sitting there staring you in the face. Now, I think Cavern of Souls is a rancid magic card that I hope stays far away from this format. This is where the magic happens. Dang, Shardless Agent. Oh, I could have memory lapsed that. Dang, Shardless Agent would be a sweet inclusion. Nah, Magus of the Moon is a shit card. Keep your bad prison cards out of the format. 0/0 desire to play against that nonsense. Yeah, Aether Vial is a reasonable version of a Cavern of Souls style effect that's interactable. The opponent's archetype, I think, is very good. It's one of the decks that's in the queue. I said I could have cast Memory Lapse. If you look in the deck queue, the opponent's archetype, I think, do I have it in there? I'm pretty sure we have it in there. I feel like we built that. Yeah, red-white transmog tokens. We'll get to it either tomorrow or Monday. In the queue. Trim here. Yeah, completely agree. Fully affected. Vial would be sweet because it would go into decks that aren't currently good enough, which potentially makes more decks playable in the format. I think Snapcaster Mage would be a very bad addition to the format. I think anybody recommending cards that are good in Jeskai control doesn't understand the current historic format. I think all card recommendations that are cards that are good in current Jeskai control are bad recommendations. I want to cut here. I guess Stifle doesn't really have much text against their deck as a magic card, so if we trim a couple of those. I'll just like trim around the edges here at the top. Just print the green-black box and those aren't gonna just get out of here. Stop it, bad Twitch chat. I am considering playing some Modern when Modern Horizons 2 comes out. I'm taking it under consideration.
I'm known for my keep up the pace.
Consideration is the devil's playground. You're not wrong. I think Eternal Witness would be gas. But I'm also biased in that opinion because I love Eternal Witness.
I won't let you win.
Psychologist, thank you for the 32 months. Welcome back.
This will be easy.
Now I have Bloodstone. I don't really care about it flipping.
Hurry.
Wasn't the shock land there strictly better? Sure. You've made a Twitch chat comment in that you're technically correct, but it actually doesn't matter.
Really should have seen that coming.
What is the advantage of Deafening Clarion over Sweltering Suns? It's easier to cast and it can give your creatures lifelink. It gives your 4/4 lifelink too. It's garbage time. You don't have to go home, but you can't play here. Do 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 do.
Looks like someone's getting a little sweaty.
And a little sweaty. Want to get sweaty with Chandra, champ? None of the ICRs in Magic Arena are 4th card protected. It's really awful. They should definitely all be 4th card protected. I mean, I didn't invent the term garbage time. It's technically not even a Magic term. It's an old sports ball term, if I recall correctly. This is probably just too slow, right? Yeah. It's because you didn't get the garbage time NFT. Yeah, that's the joke, Partister. It's a play on the song Closing Time. We call it parody in the biz. Alright, so do I just Helix a token to keep them from flipping landing here? I think that's probably the play, huh? Carter Chris, thanks for the 3/4 of a year. Welcome back. Heal it with fire. Or lightning. Alright, I promise not to Gearhulk you. Just gonna hard cast this Magma Opus. Well, I know they can't deactivate it, but they're also just like missing lands. Like, I'd prefer they don't get to hit their land drops. An NFT. An NFT is the late... An NFT is peak late stage capitalism. Is what it is. It's what you describe to a libertarian, and they go, oh god, yes, the free market. I love the free market. I personally am a parasite, so I hate NFTs. It shall be my Magma Opus. You have discarded Opus there and cast it with the Gearhulk. There's a rest in peace in play. Good try, though, Twitch chat. Hey, good games, Uncle Jeff. Good luck in the rest of your laddering today. You just need a Stifle or a third land? Our deck has been accomplished a thing. I'm glad we played more matches and we at least got to accomplish the thing. I think my original gut of this is just bad regular Jeskai control is likely accurate. But we did at least get to do the kind of interesting thing our deck was looking to do. We get a Pepsi-themed plane where Colonel Sanders is a Planeswalker. I didn't know I needed that in my life, but I now need a Pepsi-themed plane in my life, chat. Oh! Oh, chat! They're playing Tainted Pact! Show me the taint. It's exciting. Nice Terramorphic Expanse. It would be a bloody shame if something happened to it. See that, chat? Bloody shame.
I have just the trick for this.
How many bits to have you never say, show me the taint ever again? Listen, I don't make promises I can't keep. As a member of Twitch chat, I love Blood Sun's Stone Raid impersonation. Big mood. Big mood. Nice. Nice.
I won't forget our time together.
Good night, Narset. Back up Blood Sun in case they had the audacity to interact with the first one. And then honestly, we're at a point where we're probably just like cast Opus and then Gearhulk back Opus instead of discarding it.
There is little as exquisite as the artistry of torment.
Does that kill Fabled Past as well? It does, yeah.
You lack inspiration.
We're in deep raise.
I leave you.
I suppose we could theoretically die here, huh? They go untapped land and then kill me with Jace.
We can figure a way out of this.
Oh no. Oh no! Well, shit. We deserve that one, chap. We deserve that one. We did in fact fly too close to the sun. The pride she cometh before the fall. Luca, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Upkeep Opus, we could tap 2 lands. Yeah, I wanted to play around a counterspell. Their deck has counterspells in it. Rosie, thanks for the follow. I think the pack deck's still very good. I think the fact that it like went to 0 play was very silly. Rosie and Dark Neox, thanks for the follows. Thanks everybody for out this morning. Great to see you over 1,200 people in here already. If you're new to the channel like Dark, Rosie, or Gohan, welcome. My name is Jeff Oakland. I stream full-time here on Twitch. Magic is the primary game that I stream. We focus pretty much on Constructed Historic these days. I'm here usually 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. We do 3 or 4 different Magic decks every single day. Usually play each deck for about 90 minutes to 2 hours. I also have a YouTube channel where all the decks that I think are worth watching end up there after the fact. So if you're looking for a great source of kind of off the beaten path deck list, it's a good resource for that. This weekend, since it is a release weekend, I will be live tomorrow on Saturday with the normal deck stream in addition to my weekly streams. And then Sunday, we're going to be having our next Glacial open. So if you enjoy watching tournament Magic, you should drop in for that. If you enjoy playing in tournament Magic, there's still time to sign up for that event as well. It's going to be sponsored by CoolStuffInc.com. If you've never seen or played in one of our opens before, they're a little bit different than a lot of the kind of cutthroat competitive events that go on Magic Arena. Our Hoaglandia opens have a very community focus to them. The prize structure is very flat. So for example, for Sunday's open, everybody that gets at least 3 match wins in our double elimination tournament will get some amount of prizes. Three twos get $20 in Cool Stuff Inc. store credit, and then every match win you get past your 3rd win, you get an additional $20 in credit. Makes the stakes a little bit lower so people don't feel as much stress and can just like relax and stuff. How do tribal? I don't know what a tribal artifact is. It's not a thing, I don't believe, unless there's a magic card I'm not thinking of. Sure, it's a brand new card type, but I have no idea because I'm not currently looking at spoilers and I don't have a judge rulebook in front of me. And if it's a brand new card, it might not even be included in a current rulebook. It might be something that they have to add text for. Hoots is the most stressful tournament I played in because unlike Paper, there's not 30 minutes in between each match. That's true. We run a tight ship for the Hoaglandia opens. We don't make people wait around if we can avoid it.
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
We usually start to finish, the person that wins the tournament plays 10 to 11 matches of Magic over the course of the day, and usually we hammer out 10 matches of Magic in like 7 hours. Which, if you ever played a traditional Magic tournament, you know that that's impressive.
Oh, today's my lucky day.
Yes, Paula. Yeah, just join any of the voice channels on the Discord server and click go live and share your arena screen. And if you're in there, you could ask someone in the Discord to check and say, "Hey, does my stream look okay?" I'm sure there'll be plenty of people that'll help you out and take a peek at it. Hey, Code of the Sky, thanks for the brand new Prime support. There's a ton of great people you can drop those Bezo bucks off at every month here on Twitch. Thanks for sending them this way this month. How long does open usually last? Usually 7 to 8 hours, depending on it. It depends on a number of factors, though. Like 8 hours is on the long side for our events usually.
Yup.
But it depends on how many competitors we have, how long the rounds take. Usually the later rounds go very quickly. The reason why we structure our tournaments as double elimination is that way, so as there's fewer people in the tournament, the rounds turn over faster. Well, we gotta play this and hope they don't have a counterspell or a removal spell and we can kill this Chandra. Oh, I guess we are close to the end of the season, too. Yeah, I guess people that care about top 1200 are about at that point now. So, all in all, I feel like this deck lived up to exactly my expectations. We got to do the thing where we like played a turn 3 Teferi a couple of times. That was kind of cute with the Stifle plus Lotus Field. But in general, Stifle doesn't really feel like a very playable card in this format. I think, in fact, in general, if you want to try and do something like this, I think Tail's End is just the better card in Historic. There's so many important, not only Planeswalkers, but also legendary creatures and cards in this format that Tail's End has a lot more utility to it than something like this. And we lost a number of games because we like drew too many Lotus Fields or had too many 6-drops or too many Blood Suns and Stifles with nothing to do with them. And ultimately, someone mentioned in this set, and I think it's true, like, this deck was kind of a testament to just how good Jeskai control in general is, that we could take Jeskai control and, like, mess it up by 12 cards and still just, like, win a majority of our matches. It's pretty telling of the power level of the archetype as a whole.